may or may not be loud. So I need you.
Oh,
We
okay.
need a. Yeah.
I'll both my eyes.
Okay. Sad face.
2 eyes. All right.
I'm
Welcome
sad.
to Talk About Paint Club, your tri-monthly tangent from the world around. I'm your host, Rick Strohmeyer, and I have claimed eminent domain 5 times this week.
What the hell does that even mean?
Tell you later.
Okay. And I am Matt Hatches, who has to deal with this one, who opens our meetings beforehand with this.
It's fun. All right. So let's see. I'm getting
What
faster
is
at
that?
sharing and all
No,
that
tell
stuff.
me the domain. Tell me the
Okay,
domain.
eminent
thing.
domain is when the government decides it wants property, and it's because like building highways and shit.
I hate you. But I love you.
Like trying to figure out a fun intro line, and this was the one that was like, it's the the least passive, or it's the most passive. So it's been 2 weeks and a day, and
No, it hasn't. But yes, it has. No, it hasn't. We talked like last Sunday.
well, yeah, okay. Show wise, it's been 2 weeks and a day.
Yeah.
So, Choletta, tell us what you are drinking today.
I still have my coffee from earlier because I suck at like actually accomplishing anything when it comes to finishing coffee. It sits there, it sits there, it sits there. So right now it's staring at me being like, bitch, it is 4 o'clock. You've had me for 4 hours.
You're terrible at fatalities. You haven't finished it yet.
It's just like at some point, I think it just becomes like
A chore?
yeah. I'm trying to think of like a nice way to say it because I love my coffee shop. It just starts to be like mud water. Because it's like water, it's iced coffee, and it just becomes so like watered down that it's like it's not what it is. And my ass is like, well, here I go spending the money on something I probably could have gotten a smaller one for.
Yeah.
But you get a discount when you bring your own cup. So it's theoretically cheaper now that I brought that. And there you go. Everyone knows how much I am like my father. I did talk about Paint Club last week. We'll talk about that later. What are you drinking?
Ooh. Ginger limeade.
Ooh.
And it's amazing. It's half the calorie, it's half the caloric value of a soda. So even though I don't drink a lot of sodas, like, I really dig that stuff. And it pairs with a lot of different foods really well, especially Mexican food.
That sounds yummy. I don't like ginger, but sometimes I do.
It's I love it. So yeah, so for those who have been following the past month, we've sort of abandoned the assigned homework for this year, but not the instead of coming up with random topics, we are using the random colors that Nicole and I have charged each other with. Of Nicole spins a color at the beginning of a month, and we do a project on that, and the homework is for y'all to do whatever color we're doing. So follow along.
I think it gives such like an openness to doing it too, because it's like we're not saying like how like my ass is like go use grass.
Okay. Oh, I like it. The brown one was a little weird, and then like apparently right now I've used a ton of brown on my Illuminati pieces, and so like my Illuminati pieces are just are waiting for this one, because I'm like, what a great opportunity to be able to have the color of the month go there for a show, and then be able to talk about why it's there because of the show. So
yeah,
it's like connections. So that's really nice.
I'm trying to go to the show because but the problem is like not it's not even because it's a window show. Like who fucking cares? I have fun there. I love them. Like Martian and
Right.
as our people. It's like 50. You and I talked about this. It's 50. I counted now. I mathed it. It's $51 in tolls.
In tolls.
It's 16. Okay. It's from to do the quickest route. Now, if you don't do the quickest route, because people here are going to be like, then why do you just take a like slower route with less tolls? Bitch, I live 2.5 hours away.
Time
So
is money.
past
That's
that.
why.
Exactly. And my dad would be like, take the slower route, it's cheaper. But I'm sorry. I would like to get to Philly, maybe getting there, sure, but I'd like to get home.
Right.
It's okay, from here to, okay, it goes, the first one is Jersey, you get a ticket, which is so outdated. And then you go to, it really is, because nowhere, like, it's the only time that if you don't have an easy pass, your ass needs to carry cash. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I forgot to install my easy pass, which was like literally the topic of conversation before I left.
What happens if you don't have cash?
They take a picture of your license plate, and I think it's like a higher like cost.
Okay.
Which but
charge you more of what you don't have.
Yeah. So it's 16. Okay. The ticket from Jersey to Philly is 16.55 to Pennsylvania, like the length of that. And it's 16.55, and then it's 16.55 from Pennsylvania to the end of Jersey. And then New York gets you. Because New York's like, that's super cool that you did all that, but that was through New Jersey. You wanted to go to that bum ass state, so we're $16 for the GW. And then it's $3 or $2 like on I-95, like randomly, like in New Rochelle or whatever near me. And I always found it so fascinating that like leaving New York, they're like, but on the way back, they're like,
pay to play.
That was your choice. You chose your poison. And I counted it, and I was like, dude, that's $51. Like, and that's not on top of like the art that I bought, and stuff like that. And it's also the day of the creative show here in New York. So I'm trying to figure out how to like, because it's technically halfway-ish, depending on where it is in New York. I have to look at a map. And then looking at our Illuminati coming home.
It's carpool.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, can someone come with me, please?
That's what that's half the joy of doing road trips with buddies. It's always nice. Like, I used to take a lot of road trips with a lot of different buddies, and one of the nicer things is like, all right, it's clearly you go with people that you're okay with sharing a close space with, and of course this is pre-COVID mentality too, and folks that you can carry a conversation with, because you're not just going to want to be like, oh yeah, so and so is going to watch movies in the back for 8 hours. No, not on my fucking watch.
Oh no.
And then so like, and then like food, right? So you got to be able to have like everybody's happy with going to like the same place. You don't have like one grumpy Gus in the background who's like, well, I don't eat that, so I just got the kids meal. So yeah. Or like, so one time we were taking this trip to New Mexico, and a guy who was like the first time driving with us, we were hyping up this place in Kansas City to get barbecue at, and we're just like, gotta go there, it's great, we love it. And three of the four of us have gone there multiple times. So we get there, and this guy orders a fucking cheeseburger, and my good friend's just like, really? well, I didn't know if their food was any good, so I just got a cheeseburger. I'm like, we've been talking about it for 6.5 dang hours. Like, we're
Like,
not
I
gonna,
don't
we're not,
even like barbecue, and I would get the burger, but be like, "Hey, can I try a piece of your thing, please?"
and we're like,
What?
we didn't drive to New Mexico, and we're not gonna have like choose some shitty place so you could be pissed off for the next 18 hours. Um, on the way back, he ended up, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Like, yeah,
That's
dummy.
like that makes no sense. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna take you to a literal like staple. You know what you should get? Something that's not the staple.
Right. So like, yeah. So it's always cool, like, that. And then of course, like in the unlikely event, get injured or tired or whatnot, somebody else can drive. It's cool.
Yeah, your friend reminds me of somebody who would go to McDonald's and be like, "I want a fish fillet." Sorry.
That's all right. So yeah, so totally. I love road trips. So
Me too, but
I
nobody ever wants to go with me because like I do random shit and I always call it kind of like audible, but I also don't.
right.
Like I'm going to Rochester, which is 6 hours, and I don't know
Oops.
anybody that's gonna like who knows anyone in Rochester that's gonna be like, "Oh, let me go with you." And like when I go to Philly, like my friend was supposed to come with me, my best friend Joe, and his coworker had a fucking heart attack and her husband wasn't home and she like texted him so he had to run to get her and bring her to the hospital and he's like, "I'll let you know when I'm on my way to you." I was like, "Bitch, stay with her." Like
Right.
what? Like your coworker just had a heart attack? I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
That's rough.
And I mean she's fine, which thank God, but like I think I've only had one friend come with me anywhere. Shout out to Ashley. She has no idea that we do this, I don't think, but shout out to Ashley for all that, for coming all the way to Philly with me and taking pictures and posting them on Instagram and telling everyone how much it was the coolest thing that she's done.
There you go.
Hey,
Oh, like, yeah.
it was for the Moonbat show, like in
Right
2019.
on. The one piece of mine that never made it to a show.
What happened?
It's got stolen. It was delivered on a Monday, and they're not open on Mondays. So
Oh no.
yeah, I was pretty sad about that because like I really liked that piece. I have one blacklight picture of it, um, and I really like it because Brian was very much encouraging artists to make theirs hang upside down. So mine did, and I was super stoked about that. And it did make it. So
Yeah, mine didn't. Mine didn't hang upside down, or I didn't think it could. And then I did it because I took it back like after a while. And then I hung it upside down at home and I was like, son of a bitch, I could have just told him to do it at the show. Because I like when I walked in, I was like, don't do it.
I totally made, and I sent a hook hanger for it so that it could hang because I wasn't
Oh,
sure
like
I wasn't sure how he would do it. I'm like the like I'm desperately delaying so I can try and see if I can find a picture of it. But yeah, I really liked what I did.
I'm still hoping that my fucking Frida / butterfly wall from Complex Con shows up like miraculously. Like, you know how like some things like appear a year later?
Yeah.
I keep telling myself, as long as I have tracking on it, there's hope. And I've called the post office up there and they're like, yeah, I wouldn't expect to ever get it. And I'm like, you lack faith, my friend. Because I know the minute I put a claim on it, they stop tracking it. And I'm like, get my $60 back.
Yeah, why not?
I want my fucking toy back.
I don't blame you. Sometimes that shit is permanent.
Part of me is like, oh, buy a new wall and just like recreate it but different and keep it for myself.
Yeah.
Because I really liked it. And I even like told myself if that shit does not sell, that stays in this house forever. It does not go on my website. Like I liked it. And I beat myself up so hard on some shit.
Right. I found it. I'll share it in just a second.
Let's see.
Adding it to the file.
I'm proud of you. That's an old file.
It's from 2019. Be glad, or I'm glad because I had this current iPad, so this current camera roll, and I knew it was somewhere in 2019. So let's see.
And that's a good thing. It lets you pick like the month and all of the time frame and stuff.
So
let's see.
So let's see how to do this again. It's been a while.
I'm probably still so loud. Oh my god.
Let's see, screen share. Photos. Okay, so here she be. Actually, that's the that's the regular light. So I made her as a spider, and I had all these spider parts that I just kit bashed the shit out of it, and I
so
just figured. Thank you, but I had just figured out how to do like that coconut crab type patterning. So I put that in there as like on the dress, and excuse me. Yeah, I'm super pleased with that. I painted the eyes up. I think I added very little with like the mandibles and the red string for the spider
web. Are those
web.
actual crystals in its eyes?
No, I painted those.
I'm so deeply hurt right now.
So yeah, there's the face. So yeah, I put extra eyes on it for the spider. And let's see, here is the. Yeah, it turned out super cool. I was really pleased.
Yeah, yes, so, like, yeah, it did. That's why I'm almost like I'm literally almost fucking in tears here. Like, no,
there's the black light. So I was really pleased about it. Like I put the orange fluorescent in the speckles of the dress and stuff, and I tried to make it as coherent as possible. And that the web, I mean, that's creepy cute. And yeah, so like because I only had these two pictures when we did the when artists do their best 9, that was included just because it's like because it didn't go in anybody's hands, so I was super pleased with it anyway. So don't cry. I remember, right. And it's like
we are putting out a bounty. Whoever finds it gets some. If someone can track down this shit for Rick, we'll work something out with you to get something made.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's just like it just told me to like whenever I time my shipping, just make sure like it's going to be there when they're open and not like be a little more conscientious of that. And and the mothership
they're open on Mondays now.
Yeah, and they're not the only place that has like a closed day, right? It's just you happen to just luck of the draw for me, or poor timing on my part. On the flip side, as soon as when the pandemic hit and they had the Whiteout show, they had stuff like you had custom toys sitting in Philadelphia for a month before it got to them, and that was pretty awful too. So it should take 3 days to get from here to there, and it takes less than three or less days to get to Hawaii from here. It should take 3 less.
Jesus.
But yeah. What I have found that annoying about modern shipping and I'm sure I'm not the only one on this, is when you get a shipping notification and you go look at it, and it's like, oh, label's been printed. And then 4 days later, oh, package received. So they printed up their shipping label, and it's just whoever, like right now I'm just thinking of like something
Yeah.
I'm waiting for from eBay. And it's like, wow, for 4 days that label, I guess that label was drying while it was printing. And it sat in Georgia for 3 days before it comes here. Like, I'm supposed to get it on Tuesday.
The way you just
Like,
said that, like that stuff is drying.
right.
Such a
You
shit.
tell me. Like, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. And they have oil-based inks that take forever to dry in the humid Georgia winters.
I have things that will be like that, like we'll say like printed, shipping label, whatever, and it's like California, and then all of a sudden 4 days pass or like 2 days pass and it's at my door, and nothing, there was nothing in between, because I have informed delivery, so like I'll check like what's coming in a few days and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, that's suspicious, which leads me for the hope for my piece to return. See, look at that. I circled all the way back. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have put like, I'm doing a project, a designer toy project that I haven't seen happen before. So I'm kind of excited for it. I'm not going to talk. Be like, this is what I've like been trying to get a hold of a toy this weekend. And I've just kind of been like, whatever toy I get, that's the project. And so just seeing what the universe is going to let me have. So yeah. So other than that,
I'm excited for you.
that's exciting. I'll talk more about it later, but I don't want to talk about it on the show because
Don't jinx.
then you'll have whatever happened to that. It's the same reason I don't like doing works in progress pictures, because what happened to that blue one you were painting? This is the blue one I was painting. But it's red. Yeah. I wanted to buy it when it was blue.
Well,
yeah. The blue is the
life
undercut.
sucks.
So yeah, so that's fine. All right. So meanwhile, back at the original story. All right. So Nicole, we got color of the month, both the reveal of what we did and the new spin. So
Yeah.
let's do that, and then we'll go bleed right into what have you done lately. So
Okay.
do you want to go first or second for color of the month?
Well, I'll go first since I'm doing like I started doing the lines.
Okay.
I made the decision, so I'm gonna do whatever. Okay. Anyways, I did alcohol ink work on it on like four different panels that are 4.25 by 5.5. I had to remember for a second. I can't remember what the pack was because it came with like a mirrored UFO paper, and my dad says yuffo paper, and it makes me laugh so much because it makes me think of like, you're such a yup, like you're such a what is it, yuppie, like back in the day. I don't know. Anyway, so I did white, and it's so, look at this. You can see, look, you can see my whole fucking house.
Well, I could see your camera looking at you.
Oh, good. There you go. It's so great. You can't even see what's on here. Wait, if I go back.
Perfect.
There we go. Mirror, white. And the cool thing was, like I told Rick earlier, it kind of turned into like an homage to Ukraine unintentionally, because with alcohol ink, like we've discussed in previous episodes, different pigments like get pulled out, and yellow got pulled out in 1, 2, 3, at least 4 spots. So I wasn't gonna do line work on it because I thought it looked pretty cool, but I started doing the line work and now it looks even cooler in my opinion. doing white on the. I'm gonna do this on my forehead because fuck it. White on white on
You just hold
the.
it up, and we don't have. If we don't see you for a second, we see your beautiful artwork. It's cool too. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
So white on these, and then black lining on these, and then I'm gonna put it in a frame. And yeah, but I like kept it all together. I stuck them all together like when I was doing the ink work and all that, because like you can see where like it intersects in different spots, like the crosshatch. And like I tried as much as I could, if I did like a squiggly kind of thing here to like bring it back over in the same spot, or like across from it. But you know, alcohol ink kind of does its own thing, which is what I love so much about it. Like it just gives so much room for like fuck it or fuck it. And I usually when I do like stuff like this and then I do like line work in it and whatever, it's really like contrasting colors. Like I'll have like a pink in there and all of a sudden there's like green like on top of it, and like it just fucks with the whole color wheel and it looks like chaotic, crazy, cool. And then you find the patterns in there and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, let's do it with something that's literally on the same spectrum, because all I used was blue, green, blue, green.
Okay.
Because like when with the blue, I mixed it with a dot of green. When I used green, I mixed it with a dot of a different blue. So it's always blue green in some like way. So like the green I did like a drop of aqua, and then the blue I did like a drop of lime, because that's what they name them, like Baja Blue, lime, stuff like that. And like denim is a very like light blue to like add to patina, which already is mostly blue green, but it's a little bit more green than. So it was kind of cool to like mix my own like little colors. And
I don't know.
Rick's is really cool, everyone. So be prepared for his to be way better than anybody else's.
Nah, dude, mine is humble. And yeah. So so part of it is the idea. Well, I had a Funko sitting in the basement that I had.
That's a
sprayed.
Funko?
Yeah.
I would have lost. I would have lost that in the
See,
game.
that's kind of the nice thing about painting like the Funkos that aren't the stupid cuboid head, because okay, so that tangent somewhere else. So I had this Funko sprayed silver in my basement, and I had sprayed like a green ink on it in certain places, and it just sat there for a while. And I decided that because I had mixed, we had talked about this before. I had mixed some custom fluorescent inks, and I just fluorescent paints, and I spritzed those all over it as an experiment. And then one more an experiment here and an experiment there. Then I decided I would go with because I was experimenting on this piece before other projects. And then I just this assignment came up, and I was like, all right, let's just hit this with an overall make it a unified formed thing. And I sat. So this is the piece. This is the loot pinata from Fortnite. And so I had
It
sprayed it all
reminds
with.
me of Viva Pinata from back in the day.
I wanted to go with as ghostly a look as I could. So
He's cute as shit.
thank you. So like I did a cool stencil effect for the eyes. I had this.
Is that like a no, pull back.
And I think
Pull a little bit back. No, go up. I want eye. Is that a cat?
no.
Wait, I can't. Oh wait, there it goes. Never mind.
No,
Thank you. Sorry.
it's just
it
like
was out
whatever
of
the random
focus.
shape was.
It was out of focus for me.
And I put
Sorry.
like little skulls on the saddlebags, and I just like I liked this this black blue that I had, this dark blue that I had. So I used that as on the furniture. But I was being really Spartan about what went where, and yeah, and part of the what I've been doing this year is wanting to reduce how many paints I have. So I've been also getting away
Okay.
from model paints. So like I used up a particular brand of paint on here that I don't want to use that company anymore. I was like, okay, I had used up all of this effect. And I'm like, I could have hit it with one or two more coats, but like, I'm not going to spend $8 for this little tiny jar of paint. So I was like, it's done, it's
To
done.
never want to use it again.
To never
Yeah.
want to use it again, or because I've been working on my own formulas for it. So yeah, I was pleased with that. The only bummer about that is when I started painting it, or when I started putting in the eyes, which eyes are almost always the last thing to do. Um, they had to be based black, and there's the black light shot of it. So they had to be based black,
That's
and all of a sudden it went back to looking like a Funko because of the black eyes.
it
And
doesn't though.
no, as soon as you put the patterning over top of it, it eliminates the idea that it's Funko.
Okay.
But
I was
but
like,
for
I
like
don't see
that
that.
for that brief moment, it totally felt like it. So yeah, I also weathered the edges a bit. So even after like doing the ghostly effect, under a black light, it looks outlined, and like I dig that a lot. And it's I spotted out blue, green, and yellow neon to make that very mottled, shimmered, ethereal vibe. So I was pretty pleased with that.
You know what I like that neither you nor or I are like, oh, blue green, that's all we're using. The
I
end.
Well, I was tempted to use like okay, I had a tech that was like I think it was finished in like at the very end of January. I was like, oh, this could be it. No, like, my heart of hearts said you finish that show, and people have seen parts of it. So it's like okay, let's make something that's brand new.
For the thing, yeah.
So that was yeah. So like
He's
today
cutie.
today, thank you. I painted my Illuminati pieces, but whatever our color of the month is goes into the Illuminati. Unless color of the month is brown again, then all of a sudden everything's brown.
No, I'll respin. I'll respin.
Okay,
We're gonna do 12 different colors because that's fucking annoying if all of a sudden it's like
6 months of
yeah,
brown.
yeah. And I
Good.
know for you, if it was blue green like 3 different times, you'd be like,
Okay.
oh wow, it's fluorescent.
That's cool. All right.
My
Joanna.
shtick.
You got the wheel of color?
Am I gonna hit myself in the hand like last time where I was like this and just like smacked me?
No.
Oh god, yeah, I swear to God, do you think I like purposely try to hurt myself the way that my life goes? Like, see, like that. It just didn't move because I'm holding the thing. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do it off camera. Oh wait, what word do? Okay, we have to pick a word.
Oh.
Robot, octopus, dragon, dog,
Robot.
mountain butterfly. I feel like it's always just going to be robot.
Maybe.
Yeah, fuck it. We could just stick to robot. The fuck is that? Because remember they said it. I got mad because it took me forever to realize it was the same thing. Techno blue. So like hot blue, like a
hot.
Wait, no, that's not it. It's like tanzanite. Oh, so tanzanite's like periwinkle. I should just fucking open this box. Hold on, guys.
Just leave it alone. All right, cool. It's a blue violet kind of.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I actually have
that works out
ring.
for both of them.
That actually scarily works out for mine too.
That's cool.
Because
So,
remember I told you I put the two cabochons on either side.
cabbage.
The yeah, everyone loves it when I say that word. They're like cabochon. Because like when you read it, it looks like cab catch on. Cab catch on. It like the evil eye is blue, and the other side is a mood ring, like shit. So it's like thermo. So there's lots of room there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually excited with this one. Okay, but now since there's 4 sides to this pyramid,
That's cool.
does that mean all of it has to be in the same color range?
Oh no, dude, mine's gonna have like a stripe of blue, that blue violet going. It'll be accent. Both of them will be accented with it.
Cool. Just so I know the
And then-
rules since it's a show thing.
Well, that's all right.
They're gonna it's gonna show up to March in both of ours, and they're gonna be like, "Did they do this on purpose?"
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and we're just go.
Yep. Nope. And I'm gonna put that color on one of my. I'll put that color on one of my. I got this. That'll get it. So
It would be nice if it said it like.
that's cool. Like, yeah, one of my skulls from Collis will get that treatment.
Is
too.
it? I can't really
Great color.
tell now. Well, oh wait, hold on. It's a fine point. So okay, it's technically the same thing. They're just calling this shit intergalactic blue
Okay.
because it's
Hey, I
it's-
Googled the term, so I'm like, okay, that's it.
yeah, no, because this is supposed to be like, some weird thing. So like they have black, yellow, rose quartz, jasper, so I'm trying to use real words for us. Like when I saw tanzanite, I'm like, okay, periwinkle-ish, like
That's cool.
a deeper periwinkle.
That's a great color.
I actually really like that, and I have
Huh?
to paint that base wise with just a drop of like violet, and it would be really, really, really fucking cool.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait until we hang up.
Gotta go. And this concludes our broadcast day. All right. No, and almost every paint I have, except for the airbrush paints, it pretty much has like one coat coverage with that. So that makes life even easier.
I should
And
see
if it's
I
not
can
one
make it
coat,
with
it's-
So Flat.
You could make it. You could mix it with. If the worst case scenario is you could take one of their blues, and mix a little dioxide purple with it.
That's true.
So actually, I wanted to. Speaking of So Flats, I'm going to share this picture, and then go there. So this past week,
Are we gonna do a giveaway this coming week, or the week that we have our friend?
we'll do it next week. So in the middle.
Okay.
So these are all my, all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are my, all the So Flats that I have.
You put them in
and-
those?
Uh-huh.
That's fucking cool.
So
I remember you said that you put them in squeeze bottles, but for
I was-
some reason these look
Yeah.
way different than what I expected. And
Yeah,
I really like that.
I decided I'd take one picture to see, just to share. And I got these on Amazon. And they came with 3 different caps colors. They came with blue, clear, and red. So I decided that I would put the warm colors with the red, the cool with the blue, and the neutrals got the clear colors. And it really makes no difference to me. But I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, So organization wise, I'll have the cools on one side, the blues on the other, and the neutrals somewhere else. And then just the weird thing was like, okay, is this one over here going to be a neutral or a red? Or these two going to be neutrals or warms? So I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
I like
they're
that.
warms. So I'm going to show
Link me to that
off-
later.
Okay. I'm going to
Please.
show why I like these bottles are pretty cool. I've already mussed up one, but that's all right. So here it is here. I'm gonna switch my camera down. And then we're gonna, you get to see my mess for a second. There we go.
If it's not messy, that means it's not being
It
used.
means I just cleaned. All right, but here we go. So this is white on white, but that's right. Yeah, we'll do the blue green. What the hell? Because it's color month. So this one's cool because it's got a screw lid that only takes like half a turn to get it off. Okay.
Wow, I like that.
So doing it one-handed is really easy. This
I
one
feel like it
exploded
wouldn't
off.
be. It would. Yeah, I was okay. That's what I was about to say. Like, I feel like even with if it explodes like that, it looks like it can come off quicker than it would if you had to turn it
Yeah.
more.
So the SoFlat only filled up half the bottle, which is great. I don't know why it
Because they're fucking
exploded on me.
tiny bottles
I
and they're
put a-
expensive as sin.
Yeah. I think for the price per milliliter, the SoFlats are your better deal than like your Vallejos and Citadels and everything else. The only reason I would probably keep buying any of those is because of the white and yellows, and that's just for airbrush purposes. Anything that would have cadmium in it, I'm not. Anything that has cadmium in it, like yellows and oranges and reds, I wouldn't. And of course, SoFlat, they do have a label that says don't atomize it, but though I haven't sprayed any of these through the airbrush because I have so many damn other paints. There's no reason to yet, but I won't dry brush with the ones that say don't atomize them. I'm not going to dry brush with either, because when you dry brush, you kick up particles and dust and stuff, and they do smell a little weird when you dry brush with them. And
Yeah.
you can see the particulates. So anything with cadmium in it, you definitely don't want to release that into your environment whatsoever. So yeah, there are going to be some things that are just like.
What's tough for like, I guess like since I don't spray paint, what's tough is like looking at the price points and stuff. I mean, I've gotten used to it now, but it's like going from being able to buy like a jumbo bottle of like Lucas or something like that, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I need to, besides wanting to, I need to now transfer over to SoFlats and things that will stick on to actual fucking toys, better inks, and I'm like, oh, the price we pay. Like versus like, I don't, well, now I should say comparatively now, I like Lucas, but like comparatively, I would buy Golden over them any day. And just for how I guess I like to paint, and the smell. But like,
oh my gosh,
I miss it kind of. I miss like being able to buy a big old squeeze too for like not $30.
Like there's no set. Like I have no idea how great in the long run SoFlat is compared to the other paints that I've used. So like this, hopefully it doesn't flop on me. But like one of the neat things with doing this transition though is just like being forced to just grab paint, because I don't want to like give them away or just toss them. It's like, just grab paints and go. And it's like, all right. So this morning when I was painting up my Illuminati stuff, I was like, all right, I need a yellow, a white, a gray, and maybe a brown. I was just like, first ones in there is like boom, boom, boom. You're it. We'll see how it goes. And it turns out I really like how they came out. So, but yeah, and or like if they're not here, they're just slowly being moved downstairs to be like a gray in the gray bottle of paint downstairs. I realize I blow through a lot of white with my airbrush because I want to reinforce so much highlight and stuff. So it's like, wow. Because like all my paint, most of my paints are in bottles about this size. except for the white, because I just have like a big ass bottle of white that I mix with three different, I take three different brands of paint, mix it together because on their own, the white sucks, but this very
With
tried
their
out.
powers combined, they are.
With their powers combined, they're pretty okey doke. Yeah. So, all right. We're just
I
gonna.
love that.
So instead of having a background sound this weekend, Nicole, I posed a challenge to Nicole about having three, what she would consider the three best albums in her life. And the reason I came up with this idea is I was listening to I got Apple Tunes for free for the next 6 months, and like it played a random song. I was like, wow, that's such a great song. That whole album's really great. And just got to thinking about like how many albums I'll listen to start to finish, and just impose that idea on Nicole. So what we can do is we can jump back and forth. And we have an honorable mention. We both get an honorable mention, so there are four. And the only stipulation I put to us was no best ofs. So like my favorite David Bowie album is his number ones, because there's almost no David Bowie album I like all the way through. But
That's
like
literally what my problem was with Queen.
the greatest hits is really good. Except for Black Star. Apparently I'll listen to Black Star all the way through. But it took David Bowie's entire life to create an album that I like start to finish. That doesn't sound arrogant at all. All right, so Chiletta, do you want to go first or second on this?
We should just go back and forth.
Okay.
Like, Is this in order? Like number three,
no.
number two?
I'll ask you your
then I
honorable
can't
mention
do
last.
that. Okay, I was like, then
I'll just be like, what's
it.
1, 2, and then we'll do 3, and then we'll do your honorable mention last.
Okay. Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. Okay.
That was it. That was the one that I said was the easiest. There was no questions about it. Abbey Road.
Very good.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Now, I was not when I fell in love with this album, I probably just drank a lot when I was underage, but I discovered this one night watching it on VH1. And at that time, didn't have the internet to actually find out like what the hell you were watching, but there I was, captivated by the animation. Years later, I discovered this is what I was listening to. And yeah, the only problem with Pink Floyd is I cannot listen to it on road trips.
Why?
It makes me not want to pay attention to what I'm doing.
Okay.
So that's very important on road trips. So boom, that one.
That's fair. Okay, so since you gave us the ability to say live albums were an option, which I was again very grateful for, the Central Park concert by Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, no, that was pretty good.
Are we supposed to explain why? So because
you can if you want.
I mean, okay, so
I'm like, holy shit.
The first one, my Abbey Road, is because my dad and my mom divorced when I was like really, really, really young. And I remember him singing Here Comes the Sun to me, like when it would be rainy and stuff like that. And he sang Golden Slumbers to me every night before he went to sleep, which of course leads into Carry the Weight, which leads to the end. And I have tattooed on my foot the beginning of Here Comes the Sun for my dad. And there's other songs like She's So Heavy and like so many that like just unfortunately probably in my druggy state I was like but yep, Abbey Road for that one. And then the Dave Matthews is hard to explain. Like it was something that like I got hooked on with my friends like when I was in high school, but it really set like a tone for like a lot of like time for me too back then. And even though that was like a really hard time, like because that's when I was like get pretty heavy in my addiction and shit. It's something I can listen to now still and not like look back and go like fuck. Like I look back and I'm like, thanks, Dave. Like and just like still chill out and still like I can paint like peacefully or drive like calmly, like with you in the wall with the road trips. Like I can, if Dave comes on and that album specifically, I can peacefully drive and listen to the whole thing. And as long as a motherfucker, because of how long like a lot of like the endings would take. And it's just like it makes like those 6-hour drives to Rochester and shit like that. Like, oh wow, the album's done. I am only an hour away. Like,
That's my connection to the Dark Tower. It's like, oh wow, one book and I'm going to be at mom's.
now I need to see how long the whole album is in total. Like, keep going.
Okay.
You're next.
So I
It's
don't.
oh my god, it's 165 minutes. Sorry.
That's all right.
That's
So,
no
no,
wonder I can drive far.
I can't find the CD case. The CDs are in my book in my truck, and Alicia's going to rip it for me later this week. So, Judy Garland's 1961 Carnegie Hall concert.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing. Actually, like when I told Alicia that we were going to do this, and I was looking for one of my albums, she's like, "Oh, so I know one of them." And she's like, "You're going to do that Harry Belafonte from Carnegie Hall." I'm like, close. So apparently I have a lot of live performances from Carnegie Hall by various people, but I was like, no, that Judy Garland one's amazing. It's unfortunately 8 years before she dies, but like, so every album I have of Judy Garland is pretty much a compilation of one way, shape, or form, because she didn't just go to a studio and record something like Frank Sinatra would do. It's always like something from movies, et cetera, et cetera. So the live one, you also get the joy of having to hear like how she she interacts with the people, how she messes with the orchestra or interacts with the orchestra. And it's just it's wonderful. And of course you do get all the live hits, but it's like you have this her voice is a little smokier and it sounds really good. Now, when I was a kid, The Wizard of Oz was my favorite movie of all time. It still is. And at one point, sometime, that faded out from memory. But like I'm in college in 1998, and my brother and I are at the movie theaters, and we see this huge cardboard display for The Wizard of Oz because they're doing like their 60-year anniversary of it. And they're going to show it in the theater. And my brother said, "You going to go see that?" Oh yeah, I am. I went back down that obsessive rabbit hole, and I was buying albums all galore, and I bought that live one. And when I was in college, I had like a live drawing class that I hated going live drawing. I'd listen to that on there, and I'm just jamming out, drawing naked people and listening to Judy Garland. It's so fucking good.
Drawing naked people.
Drawing naked people, dude. I've drawn a lot of naked people in my time. So like, yeah, it's such a blast. I shared that album with my dad once. My dad and I used to. I'd hang out in his shop. He'd smoke and sometimes drink beer, and I'd drink beer, and we'd listen to music and stuff. And that was one of them. And because we were on this live album kick for a while, and he liked that same idea of like interactions with audiences, or just how like people like how good your performance is, and the how good their performance is, and the audience's appreciation for it, and how they reacted to it. So that's totally like, yeah, that's a driving force. And of course, Amazon nor Apple have it available, so makes it all the rare.
I like that. Like Apple Music has been like getting a lot of stuff that like we couldn't get. You don't know the pains because you weren't on it yet.
All right, Gilletta, number 3.
In my brain, I'm still
And no
doing the
excuses.
dance. I'm not,
No
not, I'm
excuses.
not. I'm saying in
Okay.
my brain, I'm doing the dance, but I'm gonna say Supernatural by Santana.
Okay.
Because it was the dance between that or his, oh god, which live album was it? Not when he, I think it was when he was in South America. It was Dance with the Devil, but um that came out when I was younger, Supernatural, and that was that was the one that had what is it, like everyone saying like Maria Maria, like that one, but
Mhm.
it wasn't that song that, I mean, like that obviously because I was a kid, like everyone was singing it and it was super popular, and like Smooth was on it with fucking Rob Thomas and shit like that, but it was fucking Everlast, Put Your Lights On. That song to this day gives me the goose pimpies, the goose pump. And it's something about the fact that that album gives us all three of like those really good songs that like, and just bringing it back to my childhood, like I'm throwing away everything that like I used to consider a favorite, like, you know, like, oh, I was a Spice Girls fan, or like things that technically defined my life at some point, but like songs that those three are that's how I had to do this, was like, okay, like how you said with Bowie, where it was like, okay, how many songs consistent or in total in one album are there that I like here? Okay, this is too spread out. Like with Hendrix, I was like, do I do Jimi Hendrix Experience? Do I do this? And because there's little wings on this album with manic depression, this one, you know, like Watchtowers on this album, and we're not doing best ofs. And I was like, okay, both Supernatural and his life. I forgot where it was in South America, or maybe it was South Africa. I know it was South. Um, it had his older songs, and it had, you know, like Black Magic Woman, and it had like a lot of those greats. And that's where I that's where I battled. That's where I battled. But
Yeah.
I can still to this day listen to like Supernatural probably in full, because Lauryn Hill's on that shit. Like all of that was my, you know, it's kind of funny that one of yours was The Wall, because that's what my stepdad would probably say. That's why I smiled, and like I know for a fact that would be because he was jealous when I like saw Roger Waters, but
Right.
like we have on that album like Wyclef Jean's on there. Like it's just there, yeah, yeah. My dad's gonna sit here, and if he sees this, and he's gonna be like, "Those were the ones you picked." He understood Abbey Road because I told him that right away.
No way, dude. Like everybody's taste is different. Like, one of my honorable mention would be like, but yeah. This one was easy to find. This is Alice in Chains.
Ooh.
So this is their last album with Lane Staley before he died, and this is also another album I cannot listen to while I'm driving. I soak it in, and I really dig this was like the epitome of the 90s, like for me, because the album is super unique itself, like, and like the artwork on it. One of the shit parts was that the little insert that held the CD in, almost every single one was broken. But like they had to go with a different type of clear plastic for it. They put artwork on the inside of it, and like this was cool when you could actually hold your shit. And instead of having like a little booklet, they had theirs set up to be like this crazy fold out, right? It's
Ah,
like album art has always been important.
I like that.
And so like they put their lyrics and like different colors on it. They just treat it like a whole experience, which I really appreciate. And then the vintage like illustrations on there, but like there's a three-legged dog for the cover. Um, kind of reminds me of Colin's dog, but with one less leg.
Oh, Boba!
Right, and like,
Stop
but you know, this was
it.
like not like the last, but it was like it was a I loved this album, you know, and like being Lane Staley's was last album, I'm pretty certain on that. And this was like, yeah, a fantastic album, start to finish. My favorite song is the Nothing song on it. And
Nothing
yeah,
wrong. I'm adding these, like, as you're saying, like, names of things, I'm adding them on Apple Music right now.
right on.
See, look, the joys. Look at what we get.
Yeah, it's just Alice in Chains. It's not Dirt. It's not Jar of Flies. It's or Sap. It's that one. Yeah. What was your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is easily something that I might have to switch out with my number 2 or my number 3. Because now, like, this is the hard thing. Like, this was the hard one. Like, how do I? The live album fucked it up, so I am gonna switch mine and call a fuck myself move here. And sorry, my honorable mention is Santana because I'm a
Back to the top
moron. Yeah, my moron self here forgot that the Eagles live album was
Oh.
four fucking CDs.
Wow.
and it covered everything, and it's not a
Yeah.
best of.
It's just everything.
It was when oh god, they were on tour for, I think it was, they combined both the Hotel California tour and
No freezes over.
I forgot the last one or the other one, and they did the live recordings of like the 80s of like everything. It was released in the 80s. I should probably just pull this up because I don't have any of this shit with me. Yeah, it was okay. It was recorded between 76 and 80 during multiple live tours. And it's so fucking cool because you could hear, like, you know, the differences and all that stuff. But the Eagles are very special to me, especially Hotel California. It's something that me and my Von dad, me and John had together before he passed. So when I saw them in concert without him and he wanted to murder me, it was the last time they all performed before Glenn Frey died, and like he wanted to kill me, but I was invited, so it's like I couldn't invite someone else. Like, I was the invitee, and every time, if Colin watches this, he'll know because I cried twice when we were driving home from in California from Decon when 2 songs from the Eagles came on, and I just cried. Take It Easy and Hotel California and Witchy Woman. Like, there's spread across their like 20-year together time. Yeah, Eagles live. I might actually have to buy myself that, like, as like a vinyl to like hang on the wall because it's a cool fucking cover too. It's like it looks like a red leather suitcase with like patchwork and shit on it. It's pretty fucking cool. And I don't own vinyl. Like, maybe my dad has it because like he has all this old vinyl. He used to tell me I could have some of them if I asked. So maybe I'll ask him on that while Rick is doing whatever the fuck he's doing, and we'll talk about other honorable mentions. Another honorable mention would be Aaliyah, her last album.
Sorry, dude, we had a slight mishap downstairs.
It's okay.
Just timed it so that
Yeah, I gave a second honorable mention while I was in there.
It's all right. And my other honorable, I would have had 2, which would have been the Harry Belafonte Carnegie Hall his first one, that was either in the 50s or 60s, because the one he did later in life was awful. But we're going to show like the manic range of my music, from Judy Garland live concert to, let's see, when was this made? This was 1990 released, Judas Priest, Painkiller.
Ooh, Judas
So
Priest.
this one also, no bad song on it. In fact, they're all great. This album got no promotion whatsoever. This is one, like I said, this was probably their best album ever. One of the best metal albums, in my humblest of opinions. And at 14 years old, it was scripture. But this album got no promotion whatsoever, because these guys were all tied up in court because of some parents suing them because of the claim that their music made their son kill himself. So this was part of that suicide satanic panic bullshit.
Where the songs backwards and blah.
Yeah, like it's the dumbest thing, and I can't remember if it was Ozzy Osbourne or Rob Halford said, it's so stupid to think like we would tell people to kill themselves, because then we'd have no fans that would want to buy our records.
Exactly.
So it's like, hello.
I mean, not to be like, LOL about like the death about that, people like that, but seriously, like, oh yeah, let me go kill my fan base.
They're not a cult. I just read a story or listened to a story about Papua New Guinea, or that had Papua New Guinea in it. And it was just like an amazing turn of events in there. And there's the tangent there. Yeah. So like I would have put Harry Belafonte's very early Carnegie Hall album in there too. And that, that's it, man. Those are the 4 or 5 albums that if Apple had them, or if they were on, they're not getting skipped.
I think also for my mom's sake, I would have to add, since we added live albums, I guess as like a second honorable mention, it would be Elton John at Madison Square Garden in 1997, something like that. Because ever since she passed away, like if Elton John comes on, hell yeah, I listen to that shit up. Like I turn that shit up. I sing, I cry, I don't cry, it depends. And I actually have the hold on, I'll go grab it, because why not? It's right here. She did. My mom wasn't the kind of person that really like did much or like go out much and all that stuff. And she got sick like really early when she was younger, and she got this at the concert.
Oh, cool.
And I haven't, of course, now inherited it, and I wore it yesterday because wearing big denim jackets is like, apparently always an in thing, as my friend Carolyn said yesterday. And it's an extra large, so that shit's huge on me. That's like down to like past my kneecaps, but fuck it. And to her, it was one of the best concerts. And when I hear the album, I put it on here, since it lets you make playlists. I have one that I call like Mama's Playlist. I have that live album, and then I have the I wouldn't consider this in like in my whatever, it just kind of connects to this thing. What is it, like with the not remaster, when people cover your songs?
Yeah.
It's like an album of like covers of you. I forgot what it was, what the album itself is actually called. Remix.
I have one from, I guess, like mid 90s, where it was like a bunch of bands covering Black Sabbath, and it's so good.
Revamp.
Okay.
It's like fucking Queen of the Stone Age sings Yellow Brick Road, and it's a badass album. Like,
is it?
It's pretty fucking
that'd be
cool.
cool. Like, next week, best 5 covers.
Ooh, cover songs or Yeah.
But best 5 cover songs.
Okay. Because I was about to say we're doing
bet we could
cover
find
albums.
those. No, I think
I
five
could
covers.
name 2 in my opinion right now. 2.
my
But then
my
I'm gonna
go-to
start sitting here going to like 25.
my go-to playlist has 2 covers that I really enjoy.
Should we do 3 or 5? Or we
We'll
did
do
do 3
5.
with okay, I was gonna say because
Just
then
do 5, no
we don't
honorable
have to do
mention.
it. Yeah, I was like, then we don't need to do honorable mentions. Okay. 3 was hard. That's why I was like, and I asked my friends last night too. I was like, would you have them? And even like my friend Carolyn, she got to like her first 2 or 3, and she was, and like she had like 5 also, and like Mike had 5, and Carolyn's boyfriend had 5, and it was just like
Rick says, son of a bitch for making us narrow it down.
that's and I said, oh, if you had to boot out 2.
Okay.
I like
All right,
that.
top
I
5
like that.
covers.
I
That'll
know.
be cool.
And then next week we'll reveal our Illuminati.
Yep.
Even though it's because it is it'll be March's color.
Yeah, but like by next week, mine's gonna be varnished by next week,
Yeah.
and it's quite possible that it'll be already shipped.
I'm trying to get it shipped before I leave for Rochester on Thursday.
Or if it's not shipped, it'll be shipped that Monday, and that's late. To me, that's late, but I think I'm gonna have to send both my pieces in 2 boxes because they're on bases and they're a little bigger than just that. I'm super pleased.
I'm trying to get over like the concept of Nicole's gonna drive it here each time.
I don't blame you. That's expensive but timely.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Or,
always nice though, like to go down there. It's just maybe
No,
not monthly.
I like the assurance that your piece gets there and like you don't have to worry about somebody else getting it there. I'm sure for them, like if they had 10 people that were going to do that every show, they'd probably freak out about like having those 10 vacancies on the while they're curating. So
yeah.
All right. So Nicole, we're gonna cut this. We're gonna cut the show. Before I go on to more tangents, and I smell Alicia's baking something amazing. So, tell everybody.
It's okay. I'm just outlining here. I guess I'm back on Instagram. Not really. So like side quick tangent. We for me to switch because I wanted to switch the podcast email to a different one. This way I can work on that and not have to be on like my own, and like that's the only social media I'm like on is for our paint club on Instagram and all that. But I had to log on. Yeah, but I had to fucking log on, and it's in my email for my regular one, and I went to deactivate it, and it's like you can only reactivate or deactivate once a week, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm back on Instagram at the Mad Hatcher at the top. And my website, madhatchers.net. And here with Rick.
There you go. I'm Rick Stroh on Instagram, RICSTROH. We are here for the good vibes. And rule number 1 about Paint Club, always talk about Paint Club. We'll see you next week.